Is it exciting to see me on a slide that isn't the all done slide? Because lately that's about all I've had time to do is to read Humphrey to you. But during crazy 2020, when there's a lot of uncertainty, we just want to rush through this and get it over with because we're not really sure what's going to happen next. We have a tendency to be impatient. And when we had to slow down for quarantine and couldn't go anywhere, all we had to do was be patient. We had to learn to be patient with each other. But now that life's picking back up again and we have things that we're not real sure are going to happen or could happen or couldn't happen or what's this going to look like and what's that going to look like, our impatience sort of turns into worry or our worry turns into impatience. But sometimes they can go together. So Miss Peachy shared this book with me a while back and I never had time to read it. And I had talked about it and mentioned it for the Humphrey book one day, but then I never got to read it. So today I'm going to read it. And if you'd like to invite your teacher parent to come sit with you and listen, I think it's great for all of us to hear. Or you can just tell them about it later. You can summarize the story by telling them the beginning, the middle, and the end, which would also be super fabulous. So the name of this book is Ruby Finds a Worry. Look at that. There's Ruby right there. It's written by Tom Percival. There's Ruby, and there's her worry. I haven't read a picture book on here, and you know I'm not very good at that because I kind of have to move the book around a zillion times. All right, let's see if I can do it without confusing each of us. All right, here we go. Whoop, whoop. Ruby loved being Ruby. She loved to swing up high, and she loved to explore wild, faraway places. Sometimes she even went all the way to the very bottom of the garden. Ruby was perfectly happy until one day she discovered a worry. It wasn't a very big worry. I mean, it's pretty small. Look at it. It's just teeny. It's a small worry. In fact, it was so small that at first Ruby hardly noticed it. But then the worry started to grow. Now notice, the worry is with her in the garden. And now the worry is sitting with her on the bench and walking behind her. It's kind of going where she's going. Each day it got a little bigger. Now it's sitting with her on the chair. It seems to be wherever she is. She can't seem to shake it. It just wouldn't leave her alone. It was there at breakfast, staring at her over the cereal box, and it was still there at night when she brushed her teeth. The funny thing was that no one else could see Ruby's worry, not even her teacher. So Ruby pretended that she couldn't see it either. So she just decided to ignore it. But look, it's still sitting there. She tried to carry on as if everything was normal, but it just wasn't. The worry was always there, stopping her from doing the things that she loved. Gosh, the worry's so big that she can't even fit on the swing anymore. It just has taken all the joy out of her swinging. Ruby wondered if the worry would ever go away. What if it didn't? What if it stayed with her forever? It just seems to be everywhere she goes. She can't get rid of it. Ruby didn't realize it, but she was doing the worst thing you can ever do with the worry. She was worrying about it. What? She was worrying about the worry. Now the worry was enormous, so the more she worried about the worry, the bigger the worry got. It could barely fit in the kitchen at dinner time. It filled up half the school bus. Goodness gracious. And it took up whole rows at the movie theater. The worry became the only thing that Ruby could think about, and it seemed like she would never feel happy again. Gosh, that's a big worry. Then, one day, something unexpected happened. Ruby noticed a boy sitting alone at the park. He looked how she felt, sad. And then she noticed something else, something hovering next to him. Could it be a worry? Right there. It was. Ruby realized that she wasn't the only person with a worry after all. Other people had them too. They all look different though. They're all different worries, but everyone had one. She asked the boy what was on his mind, and as he told her, the strangest thing happened. his worry began to shrink. So he's talking to her about the worry, and his worry became smaller. Then Ruby did the best thing you can do ever if you have a worry. She talked about it. As the words tumbled out, Ruby's worry began to shrink until it was barely there at all. Soon, both of their worries were gone. So they just shared their worries with each other, and they disappeared. Finally, Ruby felt like herself again. Of course, that wasn't the last time she ever had a worry. Everyone gets them from time to time. But now that she knew how to get rid of them, they never hung around for long. That little fella's going to disappear in just a minute. That worry will disappear. So what was the trick? What was the trick to the worry? How do you get rid of your worries? You talk about them with people, and sometimes it makes them smaller, and sometimes they disappear. Sometimes they don't disappear quite yet. Sometimes it takes time because you have to figure it out as you go. But how fabulous is that? That you can get rid of a worry by just talking through it with someone. Sometimes that helps. So if you feel worried about something, talk about it with someone that you care about. Somebody safe who will keep your worry as secret as you'd like it to be. Somebody safe like your mom or your dad or your teacher or your best friend, all those things. So I hope you enjoyed that book, boys and girls. I will see you soon. Bye.